just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Presumably you are just coming off the heels of a very big family dinner. Thanksgiving was yesterday. Tons of people at your house. Dozens of people. Hundreds of people. My wife's got like 12 brothers and sisters. Can you imagine how big that family is now? It's hundreds of people. And maybe you had a wonderful dinner like that. Now imagine somebody broke into your house and started flipping tables, throwing food, throwing drinks, and grabbed a carving knife off the table and behaved violently. You'd be pretty angry at that person. They're not following the rules of your house. This person is an unwanted guest. This person is violating a place that you have kept orderly. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what's happening right now across Europe. People who are guests inside of countries that have different traditions than their home country are behaving quite badly. This happened in Ireland, and it caused Conor McGregor, arguably the most famous Irishman in the world right now, to tweet, "Ireland, we are at war." Here's what happened. There's a stabbing at a school where an Algerian migrant, which maybe he had some type of mental illness, maybe he just went nuts, who knows, I don't know. But this person started stabbing school children. This is one of the worst crimes in the history of Ireland. Just started stabbing little kids. It's pure, just call it what it is, demonic evil, okay? And this is very, very scary, of course, for people who live inside of like a roundly peaceful country. I've been to Ireland. Like, it's one of those peaceful, happiest people I've ever met in my life were in Ireland. Had such a wonderful time there. City after city, place after place. Spent some considerable time there. Dublin stabbing, though. Far-right protests after girl 5 among 3 children attacked in broad daylight near school. Oh, okay. So you're far-right if you're against stabbings, says Libs of TikTok. If you oppose children being stabbed, you're now far right. Elon Musk saying this is insane. Shame on Sky News. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how it's being covered, and this is leading to people losing their minds. So what happened last night was there were riots in Dublin, Ireland. Many Irish people have had enough of the violence, the sex crimes, the housing issues caused by migrants, and the revelation that an immigrant suspect allegedly was responsible for the mass stabbing of children in the city center at what caused the city to turn into a breaking point, right? And so now people have roamed through the streets of Dublin and have set things ablaze and, looted some stores. But of course, were the looters immigrants themselves? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, there does seem to be photographic evidence of, people taking advantage of this opportunity to loot, the destabilization. Despicable scenes last night in Dublin city center, tweets Conor McGregor just a few minutes ago. People looting shops amidst anger and rage in Ireland has many believe that we live in a failed state with failed government policies. Has this regime ever even one successful policy? Has this regime ever had even one successful policy? Mental health services in shambles, abominable housing crisis, immigration wide open, climate hypocrisy rubbed in our face, danger on our streets at an all-time high. Can we point to any successes? This is what has people saying, is Conor McGregor going to run for the Prime Minister of Ireland? Is Conor McGregor going to run for office in Ireland? Way to go. Way to have the lion heart of a nationalist, Conor McGregor. We can lambast these wasters looting and damaging our street last night as we will. But when it passes, the spotlight shines again firmly on the many, all failed policies of the Irish government. We are awaiting action. The families of those grievings are waiting. Their kids in the hospital who've been stabbed. We will not forget. You will not brush this under the rug. We stand with those in mourning. Make change, says Conor McGregor. Goodness gracious. This is why people are saying that maybe Conor McGregor is planning on running for office. So there were riots last night, right? You can go. There's no shortage of clips of riots across the city, right? Of things being burnt. This is a bus, for instance, being burned in Dublin. Conor McGregor saying you reap what you sow. You can see some of the crazy footage of what seems to be smoke from a fire. Statue of Christ, though, in front of the smoke. And you can see the footage all across. Police cars being set ablaze and so forth. The situation in Dublin is escalating. Most peaceful protesters set fire to Holiday Inn Express, which is rumored to house migrants. And again, Rioting broken out in Dublin after 5 people, including children, were injured in a knife stabbing attack. The protesters and rioters say the suspect is a foreign national. Ireland, we are at war. So let's go ahead and check Conor McGregor's feed, okay, to see what he has to say. This is why people are saying he's going to run for office. Last night's scenes achieved nothing towards fixing the issue we face. I do understand the frustration, however. I do understand a move must be made to ensure we change. We need ushered in and fast. I'm in the process of arranging. Believe me, I am way more tactical and have backing. What is that? What does this mean? I'm in the process of arranging. Does that mean he's going to run for office? There will be change in Ireland, mark my words. Change is needed. In the last month, innocent children were stabbed leaving school. Aisling Murphy murdered. 2 Silgo men decapitated. This is not Ireland's future. If they do not act soon with their plan of action to ensure Ireland's safety, I will. Conor McGregor is going to run for office. Conor McGregor is going to run for office. Now, you've seen nationalist uprisings all over the world. Argentina, the Netherlands, Britain, Brexit, like years ago, France, Italy, all across. And it always has the same things that cause these nationalist uprisings. Unfettered, illegal, and legal immigration of peoples who don't share customs and traditions, who do not integrate into society, and who cause major frictions and sometimes horrible tragedies like this. I mean, listen, you come as a guest into someone's country and then you go stab a bunch of their children. How do you think people are going to react? But it gets deeper than that. They blame anyone but themselves, says Conor McGregor. Worthless you are, Michael. Worthless and spineless. He's talking about a Irish politician here. I think this is the mayor of Dublin. It calls him scum. Zero action. Everything from our lax border with gravy train benefits to our pitiful mental health services to our country in flames on your watch. And no plan of action. Where's your plan of action? How are we going to ensure this stops happening? How are we going to ensure this ceases to continue in our country? Ireland is fed up with your type. What he means is globalist, leftist, international, liberal, leftist, Marxist. We are not stopping until there's real change implemented. We need safety. We need security. We need leadership. None of the three. Shame on your type. What he's talking about is the limp-wristed, leftist, liberal, international liberal that cares far more about international liberalism and the populations of third world nations than the population of his own people. In fact, there's a really great quote, I think it's from Socrates, talking about how despots and tyrants always prefer the company of strangers than their own countrymen. Because their own countrymen sees them as equal. Strangers and people from other nations, they can rule over and lord over. And that's what's really at play here. You get held into account by your own people. This is something that Conor McGregor says about this. A left-wing journalist who is really well known in Ireland, who was yelled at in the street here. Conor McGregor saying, this is a picture of weak and feeble man. The most divisive of all is weak men. One of the most horrific crimes this nation has ever seen occurred. We do not care anymore about what you sad cases have got to say. In war, you are nothing. We are not backing down until real change is implemented. Man, Conor McGregor is going off, man. That's right. Hard times create strong men. Hard times create strong men. So, is Conor McGregor going to run for office? What would happen if he did? Well, here in this tweet, he is saying that torture and death is what should come of people who go and stab innocent children. I mean, find the lie. So what should happen with the demented scumbag who attacked women and kids today? Few years in jail at our expense, and then they get out and repeat? Needs to be deported, never allowed back? Conor McGregor saying, what's up? Look at this. I mean, the question really is chicken or the egg here, right? So, like, what caused all of this? Is it the people who actually rioted? Or, I mean, if you're going to use the language of the left just a couple of years ago in the riots of 2020, is it the situation that has been created by the center leftist, far left-wing government of Ireland not center, far left-wing government of Ireland that allowed for open immigration, flaunting of Irish laws, and the destruction of Irish society. Yeah, you reap what you sow. Innocent children ruthlessly stabbed by a mentally deranged non-national in Dublin, Ireland today. Our chief of police had this to say at the riot's aftermath. This is not good enough. There is grave danger among us in Ireland that should never be here in the first place. So this is the chief of police saying that the disgraceful scenes, hooligan faction driven by far-right ideology, he says. Amazing how they're instant to blame it on far-right ideology, because they're going to see this as an opportunity. They're going to see this as a danger to their power. So they're going to see, obviously, the chickens coming home to roost as a danger to their power politically. And so they're going to need to immediately weaponize this as something that is a political attack, when in reality, it is the political policies of the political party in power that has caused all of this, clearly and obviously. The Prime Minister of Ireland, maybe a position that Conor McGregor will run for, says these protesters against the stabbing brought shame on Ireland. What is this clownship? Muslim jihadists stabbed children in Dublin, and the Prime Minister is on the side of the Muslim jihadists stabbing Irish children. Ladies and gentlemen, you have no right, you have no obligation to serve or to trust or to follow the orders of those people who hate you. When people run your countries that hate you, the citizens of the country, then it is absolutely your obligation to stand against policies that are designed to injure, maim, harm, and destroy you, your lives, and the lives of your children. Dublin's Night of Shame, condemned by Irish Prime Minister as the city recovers from riots, looting, and arson attack motivated by hate after knife attack on children. Girl 5 now in very serious condition. So you can see here the aftermath that Dublin, there's some really bad rioting going on. Who's to blame? Who's to blame? What's the fix here? DC Drano saying that Conor McGregor needs to surround himself with good lawyers because they're going to come after him. The WEF agenda, of course, is pretty clear and pretty obvious. It's always the same. You need to flood people. You need to flood civilized Western nations with people who come from the third world, who do not assimilate to those cultures, to continue to fracture and to crack the cultures, because it's very easy to rule over a group of people who are scattered like broken glass, right? If you have a unified group of individuals, I'm not talking race here, I'm talking culture. If you have a unified culture where people agree with what it means to be an American, it's very hard to conquer that. When we have a Bill of Rights and a Constitution that we all agree with, form of government we all agree with, form of government that we believe is fair, a justice system we believe is fair, it's very hard to break a country like that down because it works for people. When people are able to buy homes and live happy lives, you can't destroy that. You must fracture, you must break into groups, you must create new pockets of population that doesn't have those traditions. And once you break a society down enough, then you can seize total and complete control, unified control, because there'll be nothing standing in your way. This man here had a very interesting tweet here. This guy lived in Ireland for quite a while. He says, I wasn't shocked by what happened in Ireland last night. I spent a few years in Ireland. My daughter's first 2 years were spent there. I visited every county in Ireland. I lived mostly on the south coast. The Irish are super friendly, straightforward, straight talking, and fair in their dealings. They're welcoming as long as you valued and respected their laws, customs, and tradition. Children are sacred in Ireland, very sacred indeed. It took me a while to understand why random Irish people were extremely friendly to my baby daughter, with our neighbors buying her gifts on occasions. It is the most child-friendly European country I encountered. When I read that children were stabbed in Ireland at the hands of a possibly mentally disturbed Algerian migrant, I immediately knew the bottled-up public anger would explode. A crucial part of integrating in any new arrivals into a country is to teach them verse and chapter the laws, customs, traditions of the host nation. and to clearly set legal and cultural boundaries to manage the expectations of new arrivals, and most importantly, enforcing the laws to protect both migrants and host nation. The recent victory of an anti-immigration party in the Netherlands is all but a taste of things to come. If the migrant communities, especially Muslim ones, in Europe keep insisting on host nations to respect their rights while neglecting their own duties to the host nations, Europe is not the new world, as the Americas and Oceania. It is the old world with long-established ethnic nations and states that open their doors to migrants. The sooner we grasp this, the reality, the better the outcome for everyone will be. Yeah. Enough with the defiant attitude. It will get us nowhere, and it will keep feeding consternation and narrative. Adopt a cooperative attitude instead. I guess this guy is perhaps an immigrant himself. Yeah, it looks like he's written some. Well, at the very least, he's written a book about Al Qaeda. So, I don't know the guy, but interesting. It seems like he's giving advice from the heart. I don't want to see riots. I don't want to see death. I don't want to see destruction. I want an orderly, safe society. I'm a parent as well, and I can't imagine anything worse than some awful act happening to my daughter, and it would be me taking to the streets without question. And it would be me running for office without question if those were my kids or the kids that I know. And there are horrible things that happen in this country every single day because we have a society that is breaking, that is cracking, because we are bringing people traditions and do not share the histories and do not share the laws and customs, and it is creating a fractious society. Meanwhile, the left is working as hard as they possibly can in order to make sure that what it means to be an American is utterly perverted, and that the very foundations of this country are questioned. And so it's a very dangerous time. It's a very scary time, and this is exactly why you see nationalist uprisings all around the globe, and they are successful. And we look forward to that happening here in 2024, because there needs to be pride in being an American again. Dare I say, make America great again. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.